I'm Dr. Care, and I am addicted to buying fabric. And I have no regrets. I really don't. This is something that brings me joy. Walking through fabric stores brings me joy. And so we're getting into a really fun part of the series. We are getting our fabric ready. I'm excited. I really am. I can't wait to see what you come up with. So please send me a comment, drop me a line, let me know what kind of fabric you're thinking of and fabric that you've picked up. I love this part of it. I really do. So for this part, we need our pattern from last week. In case you don't have your pattern, go ahead and look at the link down below. I put it in the description so you can go back and watch how we used the PDF pattern last week. And also the link is in the description for Ellie and Mac patterns, or the everyday tee is what we're using. So we have our pattern. I have my coffee because you know I can't do anything without my coffee. Lid is on because we're going up to the sewing room today. So the rule is lid must be on in the sewing room. And then we have our fabric. I am not a fabric hoarder. I just am prepared for multiple sewing situations. This is really addicting because there's so many amazing fabrics out there. There is an entire world on Facebook with different custom fabric distributors and printers, and it's amazing. And when I started my sewing journey, I was just going into the regular sewing and craft stores here in the area, which are great. If that's what you have and that's what you want to work with, they are absolutely wonderful. But if you're looking for something very specific, a very specific pattern, a very specific color, texture, go online, go on Facebook and type in custom fabrics. There's new ones developing every day. And of course, if you have any questions, any concerns, any ideas, need a little guidance, drop me a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to steer you in the right direction. So I have a little bit of everything besides my pattern. I have some custom from one of my favorite companies, Blended Thread Fabric. I have to show this. This is not what I'm using for a pattern, but I love this is how exact you can get with these custom fabrics. Isn't it beautiful? So it's printed to look like glitter on linen, and I love it. And I have to admit, this was one of the first fabrics that I bought from Blended Thread, and this is an athletic knit, so this is more, you would use this for leggings, skirts. I think I actually might make a summer skirt for hiking out of this one this year, or possibly a quarter zip hoodie for, or quarter zip athletic top to wear with my scrub bottoms, or to wear when I go hiking on a cooler morning. But I love it. This one's a favorite. I have another one from them. Now this one I'm not using with this fabric, with this pattern either. Isn't it pretty? Very geo, very cool colors. This is actually a cotton French terry, so I wouldn't use this for a t-shirt, just because it's a little bit thicker. I would use it for a hoodie. I would use it for a long sleeve top, a cardigan. But this is actually, I bought this on sale. That's why I bought it. That's why I have it. It was on sale and I loved it. And immediately when I saw this fabric, I thought of my sister. So this will become a, something special, a wearable hug for my sister. And, shh, don't tell her. That'll be our little secret. Some of the others that I'm not going to use, but some different options. This is a rib knit. So I'll bring it up closer so you can see. So I wouldn't use this for, I personally don't like rib knit because I'm a curvy girl and it stretches a little bit too much in areas I don't want to bring attention to. But I love the rib knit for the cuffs, necklines, and the bottom band if I'm making a fitted shirt or a hoodie. Probably use that for that. This one, it's a thinner length polar fleece. So it looks like smooth like an athletic knit on the inside, or on the outside. On the wrong side of the fabric, it is insulated. So this one I also bought on sale. That happens a lot. I love the color. I fell in love with the color. I love purple. It's one of my favorite colors. And so this one will probably become a quarter zip hiking shirt or a quarter zip shirt for work. Something a little bit more fitted that can go with my black scrubs. You can use the thinner for this shirt that we're making, this t-shirt. Maybe a thin waffle knit would be nice if you're making something maybe slightly oversized and that you want to wear when you're lounging, either with leggings or with shorts. And I don't think leggings are in anymore, but I have so many of them that I'm still wearing them. I think we're going back to wide leg pants, but not my thing. But the winners for this project are actually, this is a smooth, lightweight, double brushed poly. So this is a thin weight fabric, but it has a really, really soft, there's a really good stretch to it. This is what you want for a t-shirt. You want a good stretch. You want a really good stretch for it. This is one that I'm going to be using for our project. And then I decided when I was looking through my fabric stash that I wanted something really, really lightweight for hiking when it's a little bit hotter weather, since we're getting into the summer here. And so this is, I like this color. This is an old one too. This is a thin cotton slub knit. So I'm going to bring this a little closer so you can see. There's a little bit of a gradient to it, but I like this maroon color. I think it goes well with my hair. So I think those are our fabric choices for me. And I'm looking forward to see what yours are. So let's take these back up into the sewing room and let's get started. So we're going to start first by beginning to unfold our fabric. Now, how do you tell, especially on a solid colored fabric, which end is the side, which end is the top? So if you're purchasing and you watch them cut it, the area that they cut, you see that? Ooh, my nails match my fabric. That area that they cut, that is either the top or the bottom of the fabric. If you have a pattern, you want to pay attention to pattern direction. I do not recommend using a patterned fabric for your first shirt. It will be frustrating, and I don't want that to happen for you. We will work on patterns soon, I promise. But we will work on patterns in a way that's beginner friendly. You can also go by this edge. So the sides of it will actually be, if you look really, really close, you see how it's a little bit different. It's a little bit smooth on the edge versus that kind of soft, the soft part of the fabric. So this edge, the sides of it, that's called the selvage. So for us, we want to cut with the top, so that cut end at either the top or the bottom of our pattern, or our neck, or our the bottom hemline of the shirt is going to be. And you want the side to be off to the side here. You're going to take your two sides and you're going to match them up because you want to cut on the fold. So you're going to fold your fabric in half. Okay. Here's the folded edge. Here's the two free edges. Here's the top cut portion of the fabric. You could use a, I always have a moment for my clips, just to hold it at the top if you need to. I'll put one just because I'm short a hand here. And then I'm just going to pull this off my sewing table, my cutting table, and just give it a little shake. And now we're just going to fold this out a little bit. If you notice, I am cutting on my cutting mat. I am not cutting directly on my sewing table. I'm going to be using my rotary cutter. I don't want to put cuts into my table, so I have a self-healing mat. You can get these on Amazon. You can get them in any craft store. Many places, quilting places online have them as well. I bought the largest size available so that I can put it on my table. And sometimes I'll just put my machine right on this as well. And you want to smooth this out like you're putting a tablecloth on your table. You don't want to have a lot of bumps or lumps in it. And then I'm going to take my pattern weights and put them down. These are sauerkraut jar weights. I don't make sauerkraut, but I thought this would make perfect pattern weights. And now we're going to place our pattern. So we're going to put our pattern right on the fold because we're cutting on the fold. We're going to put our remember, we're using our rotary cutter. So unless we are physically cutting the fabric, it remains locked. See, you can't see. I can touch it and I'm not going to cut myself. I can go ahead and pull it back to unlock it. I'm not going to put my finger against that. That is going to hurt. If you are doing this with kids and you are using a rotary cutter, please, please, please either do the cutting for them or go ahead and really supervise them very well so that they do not cut their fingers. Don't cut your fingers. Don't cut anybody's fingers. These are very sharp. These hurt and they can do a lot of damage and you don't want to get blood on your fabric. So we are going to expose the blade and we're just going to trace along the pattern. And then just go nice and slow, not a lot of pressure. As soon as I'm done making a cut, I lock it if I'm going to put it down. Oh, I have a little thread, so I'm going to go in and cut that. Don't pull it if you have a little thread. You don't want to go in and rip the knit part of the fabric. I'm going to put my pieces on the side. And again, it's okay if you go over a little bit of the pattern. You can also pin this down and cut it with scissors. So you can use your fabric scissors. Another tip, please, 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 label your fabric scissors, or if you have a sewing room, keep your scissors in there. Do not use your good fabric scissors to cut anything besides fabric. Cutting paper will dull them. A little tip, if these are, if they do get dull, say somebody goes and accidentally cuts their school project with them, go ahead and cut a couple sheets of folded up aluminum foil. It'll go and help resharpen them. But if you're lucky enough to have a fabric supplier, there's a good local one in the city that I love to go to, and also at my local Joann's will also do fabric sharpening as well. And it's really cheap. I believe at the specialty store that I go to in Chestnut Hill is actually like $1 or $2. So it's really worth it. And we're going to keep on cutting. Now I noticed that my blade feels a little bit wobbly, so I'm going to lock the blade so that it isn't exposed. All of the rotary cutters have these little screws. So I'm just going to tighten it so that it doesn't feel so wobbly. And you're just going to make your way around the fabric. Move the clip. Now, this is the front side of the fabric. So you can either take one of your handy, I love having these in my sewing room, block of my sticky notes, and you can write front. I shouldn't use my invisible pen. Let's grab a pencil instead. I'm going to take one of our clips because we love clips. And here you have the front portion of your shirt. I clipped it on the side here. Let's clip it on the neckband. And if you really can't remember which side is the right, which side is the wrong side of the fabric, you can go ahead and put your sticky note on the right side of the fabric so you know. And there we go. There's our front portion. So we're going to put this aside. Yes, I keep my sewing machine. I keep Regina on the table. My sewing machine is named after my grandmother. My grandmother sewed a lot. She actually made my kindergarten Halloween costume. Remember that I was a drum majorette, and she made the costume, and I do have the pattern. I have to get that out. I'll have to show it to you one day. I do have the pattern, and remember the hat was made with a Clorox bottle. I don't know if you could get away with doing that nowadays. Pattern weights down so that it doesn't slide. And we're just gonna go right up and around. Okay. This is our back piece. Back piece, we're just going to label. Couple of threads. Ooh, don't want to pull that. Now we have our back piece. The last piece we need is then this is for the collar. So this one gets done on the fold. I'm gonna try to match it closest to the edge. When I cut a collar piece or cuffs, what I do is use my quilter's ruler to get a nice straight line. Safety first with your and there we have it. And so this is the collar for the neckline. So I'm just going to put neck. Grab my handy clips. You know I love them. See, there's enough left over that you can do some fun stuff with. And some of these fabrics, it can stretch in both ways. So this really would make a really nice, comfy bandana or a hat or a beanie, or if you have enough of it, a scarf. And I'll put the links down below in the description for those. So we have our back piece. We have our neck piece. And we have our front piece. All ready to sew. Let's recap what we did today. We picked out our fabric. We placed it down. We placed our pattern on. We cut it out safely. We did not cut ourselves, so I'm very proud of you. We had our favorite beverage of choice. And we got to have our first meeting of the Fabric Hoarders Society. Thank you guys for staying with me. Thank you for sewing with me. Next week, we're gonna start sewing our shirt together. Do not worry whether you have a sewing machine or whether you have a serger. Either one is going to make a wonderful garment for you. I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget, go ahead and subscribe so we can keep sewing together, and have a really, really good week. Bye guys. Thanks.